Global economic dynamics continue to shift. Some countries face significant challenges in sustaining their economies. In 2024, various nations grapple with extreme poverty, political instability, and inadequate infrastructure, leading to weakened economic conditions. These countries, often burdened by debt, low productivity, and limited access to resources, struggle to improve the living standards of their populations. In this video, we're going to talk about the poorest country in the world, highlighting the key factors contributing to their economic struggles. Burundi is a small country located in Eastern Africa, with over 13 million people calling it home. It is one of the poorest countries in the world, with 87% of residents living on less than $1.90 per day. Burundi's economic crisis is deeply rooted in a combination of political instability, limited natural resources, and external factors. Since gaining independence in 1962, Burundi has experienced repeated cycles of ethnic violence and civil war, which have severely disrupted economic development. The country relies heavily on agriculture, particularly coffee and tea, which are vulnerable to fluctuations in global prices. Burundi has been in political and economic crisis since 2015. Democratic gains made after the 12-year civil war ended in 2005 have been undone by a shift toward authoritarian politics and violent repression against perceived opponents of the ruling party, the National Council for the Defense of Democracy Forces for the Defense of Democracy, CNDD-FDD. Burundi adopted a new constitution in 2005 after a series of agreements ended the country's 12-year civil war. Among other provisions, the amended constitution lengthened presidential terms from 5 years to 7. In January 2020, CNDD-FDD insiders selected Veriste Ndayishimiye, a former Army general and Interior Minister, as the party's candidate to succeed outgoing President Pierre Nkurunziza for that May's election. Ndayishimiye won 71.5% of the vote, while the CNL's Agathon Raza received 25.2% and Gaston Sindimo of the Union for National Progress, UPRONA, received 1.7%. The contest was marred by a wide-ranging campaign of repression, which the United Nations UN Commission of Inquiry, COI, on Burundi said included the intelligence services, police, and the Imbonerakure, the ruling party's youth wing. International observers were barred from the polls. The CNL claimed that the results were fraudulent, though the Constitutional Court upheld them in June. Ndayishimiye was to take office that August, but was inaugurated that June after Nkurunziza died in office. Corruption is rampant in Burundi. Corrupt officials generally enjoy impunity, even when wrongdoing is exposed by non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and other actors. Anti-corruption organizations are under-resourced and ineffective. Though President Ndayishimiye has vowed to address corruption, his actions in office have been contradictory. The Ndayishimiye administration dismissed over 120 government employees for embezzlement in 2021, though none of them faced prosecution. The president has also reorganized Burundian anti-corruption bodies since taking office, abolishing an anti-corruption court and an anti-corruption brigade and placing their functions within existing offices. In October 2023, President Ndayishimiye fired central bank governor Dieudonné Murengerantwari. Days later, the Justice Ministry announced that Murengerantwari had been arrested for alleged passive corruption, money laundering, and misappropriating public funds. Freedom of expression is constitutionally guaranteed but severely restricted in practice by draconian press laws and a dangerous operating environment for media workers who face threats, harassment, and arrest in response to their coverage. Journalist Florian Irangabayi, who co-founded a Rwanda-based news outlet run by Burundian exiles that has been critical of Burundi's government, was detained in August 2022. In January 2023, she was sentenced to 10 years in prison and fined 1 million Burundian francs, $480, on charges of endangering the integrity of the national territory. An appellate court upheld her conviction in May. The population of Burundi is growing at a rate that is already unsustainable. It is a landlocked country with dwindling natural resources and one of the highest birth rates in the world, 5 per woman. What is most concerning is the average age in Burundi is 16, meaning its young population will have more competition for fewer resources than their parents did. That has the potential to raise the odds of further violence and even higher poverty. The CIA estimates that 90% of the population is reliant upon subsistence farming. Because Burundi is both small and landlocked, which means soil degradation is a real concern, especially as the population grows. UNICEF is addressing this through the Creatable Project, which teaches students to use bags to grow vegetables instead of planting them in the ground, and it has seen success. Freedom of religion is generally observed. However, relations between the government and the Roman Catholic Church, of which most Burundians are members, have worsened in recent years. In 2019, the UN COI reported that the government was exerting more control over churches to curb political dissent. Both university students and staff who support the CNDD-FDD receive preferential treatment at academic institutions. Continued intimidation of opposition supporters has created an atmosphere of fear and limited free speech on university campuses. Reports indicate that teachers allied to the CNDD-FDD have intimidated students who are considered unsupportive, in some cases preventing them from attending school. Teachers are increasingly screened for political loyalty to the ruling party. The judiciary is hindered by corruption and a lack of resources and training. The judiciary is generally subservient to the executive, which regularly interferes in the criminal justice system to protect CNDD-FDD and Imbonerakure members and persecute the political opposition. In 2022, in a video that was circulated widely on social media, President Ndayishimiye declared that justice belongs to the state and that a state never violates the law. President Ndayishimiye has repeatedly accused the judiciary of corruption, including in a high-profile speech in September 2023. In 2022, he dismissed 40 judges accused of corruption and mismanagement. The judges were convicted on corruption-related charges and issued sentences ranging from 1 to 30 years in prison, as well as fines of up to 3.3 million Burundian francs, $1,592. Individuals not allied with the ruling party may lose their employment. Community service requirements have taken on political overtones, such as building offices for the CNDD-FDD, amounting to what a 2019 UN report called forced labor. Women have limited opportunities for advancement in the workplace. Much of the population is impoverished. In 2017, vagrancy and begging by able-bodied persons became formal offenses under the Penal Code. Human trafficking continues to be a serious issue in Burundi, with the IOM counting 1,160 trafficking victims between June 2021 and June 2023, 85% of whom were women and girls. In July 2023, the Burundian government, with the support of the IOM, launched a 5-year plan to combat human trafficking through the creation of tailored assistance and response programs. According to the U.S. State Department's 2023 Trafficking in Persons report, the government has continued to expand investigations, prosecutions, and convictions of traffickers. However, the report also noted that corruption and complicity by government officials in trafficking remain significant concerns. The government faces challenges such as corruption, poor infrastructure, and limited access to education and health care. Additionally, international sanctions and reduced foreign aid have further strained the economy. High population growth exacerbates poverty, with many Burundians living on less than $1.90 per day. Inflation and food insecurity are widespread, and the country struggles with high unemployment rates. The lack of economic diversification, combined with ongoing political repression and human rights concerns, continues to hinder Burundi's economic prospects, making it one of the poorest countries in the world.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Share this video with your friends. See you in the next one. Bye.